Hi everyone, and welcome back to another edition of OEM Audio Plus installation. Today we're featuring our Evolution JBL upgrade kit for the new 2023 Toyota GR Corolla, specifically models equipped with the technology package that includes the JBL sound system. The system is comprised of fundamentally these components: our new 10-channel DSP amplifier, our new subwoofer, vehicle specific for the GR Corolla, and in tandem working with our technology partner Corolla Acoustics to provide unbelievable low-end response from this package. We also include our quick sync plug-and-play harness, fuse holder, installation hardware, and everything else you need to complete this installation and as simple as possible. You have a ratcheting wrench with an extension. In particular, you will need 5 sockets. You're going to need a 10mm, a 12mm, a 13mm, and a 14mm. And then finally, you need a T50 hex bit to be able to loosen the bolts for the seat removal. Other than that, the installation is pretty cakewalk, and we'll show you how exactly easy it is to get this integrated into your GR Corolla. To begin with, we're going to disconnect the negative terminal of the battery using a 10mm socket. This plug and unplug it, and then now you can loosen the terminal and you're done. Next is the driver's seat removal. Step 1 is you remove the headrest, room to move the seat outwards of the vehicle. Then you will look at the 4 bolts that are in the vehicle. First 2 will be the 2 rears that will be loosened. Using a T50 Torx bit, you can go ahead and loosen these. And here are the other 2 front bolts, and tilt it back so you can access the airbag and seat connections that we have to disconnect. Start with the first one, then the next one. You press in and slide, press again. There we go. Forgot to mention we need to use a panel tool to remove this clip, so here we go. Next step is to remove the cover of the factory JBL amplifier, and this has basically 2 clips here, and the way I do it is I loosen the back portion of it like that and then pop it out carefully so you don't break any of the clips. Next step is disconnecting the 2 factory connectors, this, and wiggle it out. For this one, it has a locking mechanism, so you need to do is use a flathead screwdriver or something similar, or a pick tool, and kind of lightly press the tab on the inside, and then that will release the lock that way. And that's it. These are 2 10mm bolts using a 10mm socket. Level out the seat, put your one arm behind the back and move it forward, then position your 2 hands on the bolsters and lift carefully. Watch your steps and slowly walk back. Using a pair of needle nose, press the plastic like this and then pull out. This panel, and this panel, in that order. To remove these corners, you gotta press down the panel and pull. Usually has a little nut, plastic nut that you can turn with your fingers. And then normally the direction is to pull this way out. To remove this panel, you kind of loosen the weather strip up to here. Remove the bottom seat cushion and simply position your hands underneath this way and give it a strong yank. And do the other side as well. Remove the center seat belt by disengaging the buckle on this red button. Remove this threshold panel. Same with the back portion here. Be careful not to break any clips. And then this one has the rubber strip hold here. You can just simply remove that. And acts as the 14mm bolt that holds the seat belt, so we can remove that and gain complete access to run the umbilical cable and power wire underneath the carpet. Tool and pop it out like that. Now it's time to install the quick sync harness. The two ends on this cable represent the direction that the cable has to be run. This end with the longer power wire lead will run to the trunk, while this one stays in this area and gets plugged into our DSP amplifier and ground. So when we unravel this, we will take the lead of running it this way. Before we do that, we're going to unclip the carpet so we have easier access to running it. When you run through the factory openings, that way it looks not only cleaner, but it doesn't get in the way of factory harnesses or anything relative to restoring the way everything fits and looks. If you're able to, I would slip this padding out and run the wire underneath this channel so it doesn't bulk up as well. This insulation will protect it anyway from heat and any other kind of issues. And this promotes a nicer and cleaner run. Next would be to run the URC1 level controller for the subwoofer. So the URC1 is your gain knob for your subwoofer, and it comprises of these parts. You have the main knob, the mounting bracket with the mounting screws, and the 15-foot long cable. Before you embark on running this cable, I always save the wire tie or the cable tied, because whatever excess you have, you can wrap it with it. Be aware there's two ends to this cable. This end with the black 10-pin connector connects to the amplifier, while this end with the telephone jack connects to the gain knob. So make sure you know that orientation. Typically what I do is you can either run the slack over here or run the slack under the dash, whatever is more comfortable for you or more accommodating. That's what I recommend you do. For now, what we're going to do is simply run the cable so that we have an idea how much slack we need to put away. Again, I would run it over here where we ran the sub-umbilical. Get some length going here. Be mindful that this plugs in the back of the amplifier, so you need to have at least this much length, roughly about 12 to 14 inches of length, just in case you need to tuck it away. Then it goes this way. Because this is such a light duty cable, I would use a wire tie. Over here, we put the gain knob just about right above the throttle pedal. Next, we plug the quick sync wiring harness. First thing we do is we connect the subwoofer cable directly into here. That's one. Then we plug the factory amplifier connector into this, into our receptacle. And then we put back the factory amplifier, our harness to it. And that's that. All the connections or the cable holes that were originally there back here. Reconnect this connector over here. 10mm mounting bolts, and mount one of them here. The gain knob cable underneath everything, or for the most part underneath the quick sync harness. Next is we're going to mount the DSP amplifier in place. Give it 14 inches of slack. To recap, make sure all your amplifier connections to the factory amplifier are intact. Our harness plugs into the amplifier. The factory amplifier plug plugs into our harness and is tucked in underneath here. This is the other cable for the factory amplifier. Make sure it's here, and if you notice, they're all underneath the bracket. The bracket is not pressing down on it, so nothing to worry about it pinching or anything like that. Your power connector and ground is tightly plugged in, and the proper slack. Same with the system connector, the 8-pin connector and the 10-pin connector, and of course your subwoofer connection. Reinstall the 10mm bolts and tighten them. Carpet back. Slip this in place.